Good evening and welcome into the very last Football HQ for the 2018 World Cup here on TAB's Facebook page, Facebook live from Andy's Bar at Sky City Casino, of course. Any comments you got, any questions you got, leave them below. We'll get to them later in the show, but I have to, of course, introduce you to the gentleman in between Miles and I, Martin Devlin, a guest for the second time. The first,
as you can see by his astute nature, we found him on a park bench just up the road.
Look, I tell you what, this is a face that says I've stayed up way too late watching too many World Cup games over the last few weeks.
Like
most
son,
yeah,
exactly.
Let's get you. Let's do a bit of promo first. We've got to do a bit of a promotion first.
We've still got one game of the World Cup left, of course, which is at 2 o'clock tomorrow, well, 3 o'clock tomorrow morning, I should say, between Croatia and France. It is the final, and if you haven't got a TAB account and you'd like to have a punt, then sign up for a TAB account at the TAB website, chuck $10 in, and then put in the promo code FootballHQ. We'll bung you another $20. That is $30 all up, okay? So there is your offer there to open your new TAB account. And we also give away a $50 TAB betting voucher every show. We have a question every show. And
a question
Mr.
comes to
Devlin.
Martin this week, doesn't it?
Devlin.
Well, I'm trying to not overcomplicate this, but we have had 20 World Cups up until now. This is the 21st. If Croatia win, they would be the what team to claim that trophy?
So how many nations have won it if Croatia win? Not how many have already won it?
The less cumbersome way of saying
add
it.
one.
Add one. Okay.
Right.
Put your answer down below, and we will get a winner. We'll draw a winner randomly during the show, and we will get to that. But boys, we need to talk the semi-finals, and of course, the semi-final between France and Belgium was the one that we thought was going to be a cracker. I thought there was going to be a ton of goals. Didn't happen. The French just controlled, and got it done.
Once they got in front, they did close the game down. I thought that second half was an average game. A lot of people, I don't know, I'd be interested in your thoughts, mate, because a lot of people said, it was a really intriguing chess battle. For me, it just lost it. The Belgians, De Bruyne, I thought was awful.
Yeah.
He lost his way, and maybe the French just closed him down too efficiently. What do you reckon?
I mean, look, you look at the history of the World Cups, and that to me reminded me of 1986, and you'll actually know this, when the French had to beat Italy and then had to beat Brazil just to get to Germany in the semi-final. And I wonder whether, with the Belgians, whether that win over Brazil just took so much out of them psychologically as much as anything else.
Like they'd already had their final kind of thing.
Look, and this is what I worry about with Croatia, who, when you looked at them in the mixed zone afterwards, Miles, celebrating after beating your mob, like they'd actually won something. Nothing's been won yet.
They just beat England. Don't get excited.
Well, they made the final and all of that, but this is the whole point. It's about winning 4 games in the knockout stage. It doesn't stop till then.
No, you're right. You're exactly right. So that was interesting for me. Roberto Martinez changed his tactics for that game as well. Played De Bruyne higher up the pitch, where he'd been playing him deeper, and that I think meant that the delivery
goes missing
coming
though,
out
and he's done it during the Premier League as well, hasn't he? Great games and then games where you don't see him.
I think the way that him and Hazard played in the game before against Brazil,
brilliant.
They probably,
Fellaini was the star of that game. Can you believe it? We're actually saying that?
I know. It's crazy.
It's true.
Crazy.
I'd have him in my side, mate. I think he's much maligned.
That's because you're a long ball, hit it off the head, bollock side. That's why.
He did the business, mate. He did the job.
He did
the other one, the England-Croatia one, I said earlier on, even after the Panama game, I saw in the second half that we had limitations there. We don't transition the ball forward quickly enough. We haven't got a playmaker in midfield, and once Croatia equalised, there's only one team going to win that. I mean, Croatia deserved to win that game. There's no doubt about it.
The other thing I thought was it showed a lack of big game nous. In the beginning of the second half, especially, some of the guys at the back started to panic a bit. They were doing things they didn't need to be doing. How many times did they put Pickford under pressure with a rubbish back pass? How many times did they just hoof it long and give the ball back to Croatia?
And Miles, I think it comes down to one simple thing. You got one of the best strikers in the world. Why is he playing here?
I'll tell you.
Why is he playing deep like
that? And England are going to be in trouble from here onwards if Southgate doesn't change the personnel, try and fight them. I mean, we've won the under-17s, under-20s. There must be someone young coming through. B, He's got to get Kane further forward.
Yeah, he's your strike weapon, mate. He needs to be in the box, mate.
How can, in open play, your goalkeeper have 10 times more touches than your centre forward?
Well, that said everything about the second half. Like I say, they really did. And like you look at those teams in the semi-finals, Modric for Croatia, Griezmann for France, De Bruyne for Belgium, those guys can all unlock a defence.
Look,
England
the other
don't
thing
have
I
that
think is
player.
No, they
important is that France are playing like the Germans. They've actually learned, maybe it's Euro 2016 when they lost in that final,
Yeah.
the pragmatic nature. And Deschamps, remember in '98, centre of the defence, they were the most pragmatic side. Miles, they won 1-0 in the last against Paraguay in 119. They beat Italy on penalty.
France '98 traumatises me, not because Beckham getting sent off for losing penalties, but that's when I first started a on-air relationship with this.
But look, you know, this,
individual.
and look, to win it from here, the only thing that counts is you win it. It doesn't really matter from here, does it? And so France.
We'll have a preview of the final shortly. He gets so excited, we've got to rein him in occasionally.
Yeah, indeed. But the third, fourth playoff was this morning. The game that no one wants to play, and probably the biggest surprise for me was the strength of the two teams. I kind of thought we'd see, like the last group game, two pretty much reserve sides run out there, but it was reasonably strong for both.
It was reasonably strong, and I think the players that left out, Dele Alli, Ashley Young, you could imagine why those players left. But if the answer is Ruben Loftus-Cheek, I don't know what the question is. He's a good, bring someone off the bench just to close down a midfield. His touch is poor, and Henderson,
I can't believe you're talking about this fixture, mate.
Henderson in the semi-final, his distribution was.
This was West Brom away Bolton on a Tuesday night. Who cared? Really?
I do.
Come on, well, that's because your team was
good.
playing.
Exactly, so I enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, exactly. So there you go. That was the third, fourth player. Finish 2-0 to Belgium, so they got third place. England, fourth place. The second time they've got fourth with 1990. So overall, Miles, as our token Englishman here, scale of 1 to 10, what do you give your team?
I'd give them a 7. I mean, they were inexperienced.
fine.
They had half the caps that Croatia had, so they were inexperienced. They're the third youngest team at the tournament, and there's potential there. But hey, it's more about reuniting the team and the fans and reconnecting them and looking forward to the future, because they weren't that brilliant, but they made it to the semi-finals, so I can live with that.
Yeah, all right. Well, we're going to have Tim Payne on the show again with another one of his segments. Now, he did these right throughout the Football HQ for us, where he went out with our producer Ant and did different challenges. We called it Head-to-Head with Tim Payne. Now, if you missed last show, and Tim Payne went head-to-head on the Sky City Stair Challenge, the loser had to jump off the Sky Tower, and here is the result.
Yeah, well, the name of the game was Guess Who, and we had to go out in the public and see who was going to get recognised. Yeah, well, the name of the game was Guess Who, and we had to go out in the public and see who was going to get recognised first. This is the punishment, jumping off the Sky Tower, and I've lost. Thanks, mate. Cheers, mate. Yeah, I have to do it. You go, Tyler. I'm just really nervous. Film off the curve. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. Like, really strapped in. I don't want to breathe. Yeah, it is. Oh my gosh. How good. Where's my main one? Main on! Jump out, okay? Yeah. Cool. Nice straps in. You're all good, man. Sure? No worries. Ready? Oh, me. All right, here it comes. 3, 2, 1, go! What am I doing? Hands up, bro. Jump on out. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go! I hate good. Oh, no. 3, 2, 1, go! Oh, mate, well, there you have it. That was tough. The only comforting thing was actually seeing my house there in the distance, the beautiful clear skies, and losing that to Tim Payne, mate. Hey, but that is the last challenge, mate. Congratulations for taking out majority of them, mate. You're an absolute legend, and bloody hell, it's been awesome having you on this season.
Yeah, cheers for having me. Thank you very much.
Yeah, cheers, brother.
Outstanding.
Let's go have a beer, eh?
So there you go. It wasn't all a loss. We got to throw Ant off the Sky Tower at the end of the
We did
Football
try
HQ
to saw
series.
through the ropes, but
didn't
unfortunately
work.
they're stronger than we thought.
Can I also say that guy was so impressive during the ISPS Hunter Premiership? You and me watched a lot of games, matey.
Yeah, he was. He was very good.
And he deserved his place back in the All Whites, and he's actually one of the... I tell you what, I would have him that holding midfielder role today, every day, mate.
Yeah.
Tim Payne,
Yeah, he's
every day.
been playing very
Every
well.
day.
Been playing very well. Now, just a reminder, if you don't have a TAB account and you want to have a punt on the World Cup final, 3 o'clock tomorrow morning, you can go to the tab.co.nz website, put $10 in, open an account, put in this code here, promo code FootballHQ, we'll give you another $20, all right? So you can chuck that in, and then you can have a bit of a punt on the final, 3 o'clock tomorrow morning, Miles.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at that final. Martin, you're going into it. France, obviously the favourites. Do you see a chance for Croatia?
Look, I certainly do. And in these kind of circumstances, don't you kind of look for the fine margin, don't you? And you've mentioned it before as well. When you play 3 lots of 30 minutes extra, that's a full game, plus one less day to prepare for it. Is that going to be the advantage, the physical advantage?
It didn't affect him at all.
No, it didn't.
Against England. And for me, if you look at man for man, the French have got the edge on them. I think they've just got the edge in key areas. But there's a certain resolution about this side, a resolve about this side, and if they can get their noses in front, I think Croatia can cause an upset. But they've got to score the first goal.
Well, where I think Croatia have been stronger and won games is their midfield. Rakitic, Modric, and whether it's Brozovic or whoever they've been playing in the middle with them. And I think the French can match them there, but the French have a bit more physicality.
The French have also got a lightning bolt. And if they can release that guy, and I'll tell you what, isn't it beautiful to see? It doesn't matter what the sport is, as Ernie would say, gas.
Yes.
Sheer pace.
Reminds me of Michael Owen in 1998.
Absolutely. Giggsy at his absolute pomp,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Sheer pace, being able to beat your man.
Thierry Henry.
Hello, and then all of a sudden you've got an overlap, you've got a 2-on-3 or whatever.
So
He's
that
got
makes
great
me think,
feet as well.
you
And
know,
for a young kid, he's got a good head on his shoulders.
if you're the Croatians, you're not going to press high. You're going to sit deeper and try and hit them on the breakthrough. Perisic.
If you're the Croatians, I'd be serving it up on a plate to Giroud because he's done nothing in this World Cup, which probably means he's now going to do something.
I think he acts as a focal point for them,
he
to
does.
be fair to him. I don't think he's there. I mean, they'd like him to score goals, but
He's got a lot of chances in the box, Miles.
it hasn't. But they're still there, aren't they?
They are.
I don't know whether they're going to drop him.
Are these the two best teams in this tournament playing in the final?
As
think the
they've
two
played
best-
as teams, I think they have.
Yeah, probably. I mean, you could make an argument for Belgium. I think you could make an argument that the semi-final, France-Belgium was probably the two best teams. But I think Croatia.
When you look at
have
Croatia, the way
battled
they dismantled Argentina, they
Yeah.
showed what they could really
And
do.
they've shown it- they've
And the
shown a
way
lot
they
of
showed
fight.
that resolve to come back against England when
and
really
Russia.
And Russia as well, yeah.
and Russia.
Yeah.
I think that they're from that side of the draw. I think the Croatians are the best
Yeah,
team.
all right, lads.
It's
Well,
been a
let's-
great World Cup, hasn't it?
been
Can we just say that quickly? From the actual knockout stage, there were 2 dud games, and I think one of them was Croatia versus Denmark, and the other was Spain versus Russia. Apart from that, every one of the knockout games has been terrific to
Was it
watch.
France, Denmark, or
France.
Sorry,
Denmark.
sorry, that was the one.
Yeah.
And then Spain passing
That
10,000
Croatia
times.
Denmark game was awful.
Yeah, as well. As well.
Not
yeah,
as
yeah.
good. Yeah, I must have been. I fell asleep during that one.
Yeah. But I mean, let's get some predictions. So World Cup final tomorrow morning. What's the score? Who wins?
But my head says that France are going to win 2-0.
Yep.
But I'm going to go for a sneaky little 1-0 upset to Croatia. I'm going to go 1-0, and Mandzukic's going to do it again. Yeah, Croatia by 1, $5.50. There's some good betting options here because it's the one game you can focus on it. One which I think you'll quite like, Martin, which isn't up there, but is Pogba to score and France to win at $8.50.
That
Both
is
we
good
like
betting.
that one.
That is good betting.
He's bound to front up.
This guy's going to get into the box because they need him to get into the box, don't
Exactly,
they?
yep.
And he's good with it.
He's good with his head.
Good with the head.
Look,
yeah.
I like the idea of actually maybe Croatia getting a 1-0 lead, which brings France out. Maybe a half-time, full-time double. Maybe one of those.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah,
actually
it
think
could
there's going to be more than one goal in this. We're all thinking if Croatia score first.
Yeah, exactly. And to tell you the other one I like, and you mentioned Mbappe's pace. Him running between Vršlako and Vida, it's going to cause some problems. France to score a penalty is $6.50. I think that's worth a lot.
You've been off those for a while because you started off the tournament enjoying the penalty,
I
and
got
the
a
one
couple.
game you didn't, there was a penalty and
Yeah.
it was scored.
Yeah.
I'd also like to point out that anything at all to do with Ricardo and what he's predicting, you've just got to be very careful going. Very careful, right?
We shall address it. So what are you
Yeah.
going to go for, Martin? What was it again?
I'm going to go for the French 2-1.
French 2-1, as much as I want Croatia to win and I'll be supporting them, I think France 2-0 sounds about right.
And I do believe, Ricardo, you treacherous dog. And by the way, everyone at Auckland City and Central, he's put money on France. I'm seriously, I've washed
2-0
my
at
hands of it.
$7.50, and I've got on
Hey,
the
don't justify it, mate. They blew up the Rainbow Warrior. Come on.
He's even worse.
I'm pretty sure Pogba wasn't here for that. Pretty sure. Now,
Okie dokie. Well, we used to have some funny bits and pieces. We had a brilliant one, but somehow Genius Boy here found it and then lost it. This magnificent gift. You may have seen Donald Trump and the Queen.
Blame George.
And suddenly Trump walks in front of us as she has to dodge behind him there. Someone has done this brilliant World Cup type gift with her dribbling the ball either side of him.
Nice.
But he's gone and bleeding lost it. Either he lost it or George lost it.
It's George's fault because he doesn't follow me on Twitter.
Excuses, lads.
So we got the one
that
my oldest son was at this event in Hyde Park. You had to get tickets, big screens in Hyde Park. And when England scored, this is what happened.
That's warm beer landing on you, Ricardo. Just believe in that, okay? It's warm beer, right? Because there's obviously a big chance to get into the loo from that front row, isn't there?
I hear what you're saying.
It's just
That's madness, mate.
Yeah.
Well, how cool would that be, being in the middle of that?
Summer.
It would have been even cooler if they'd have managed to hold on to that lead. But anyway, the one thing that did cheer me up afterwards, and we haven't got it. George failed again, so he's been sacked after this episode. is the England fans at the end of the game all stayed behind in the stadium after losing the semi-final, sang "God Save the Queen," and then when it came over the PA system, "Don't Look Back in Anger," Oasis
song,
they all sang it, and it was something quite spiritual about that, or cathartic in the fact that they...
Quite a nice choice of song given the previous history with trouble and things from England fans.
Yes, normally it is. Don't do that. Let's just go and smash the stadium.
I think that comes to silver medal compared to the Japanese who cleaned their dressing room and then left a little thank you card.
That was outstanding.
That is courtesy, isn't it?
Yeah, that was.
And they'd just been knocked out in heartbreaking fashion as well.
Exactly, yeah. Now, the Prats. I don't know, I emailed this to George. I emailed this to George. He's got it. The Belgian team, they weren't happy afterwards. It's some pretty salty quotes after the French game, including...
This must be an old one, because that's Nangolan there, and he wasn't in the squad,
he
was he?
At the World Cup. It's not the photo I sent George either, but anyway, by the by, Eden Hazard was quoted afterwards as saying, after that, I would rather lose this game with Belgium than win the World Cup
There was a United States women's goalkeeper
Hope Solo.
Who said the same kind of stuff after they lost to Sweden, I think it was, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, look, and I understand the emotion at the end of the game, and we all ask for that, and we all want that from the players, and so I'll excuse them because of that, because realistically it comes down to the best team won. I'm sorry, that's how it works.
Yeah, I mean, I was gutted. I was sick for a day. On Thursday, after England lost, I didn't want to see anyone. I didn't want to talk to anyone.
He didn't want to talk to anyone. Thank God for that. That'd be the first time ever in the history of the world.
I did accept straight away that Croatia were the better team. They out-passioned England, they outplayed them, and they deserved to win.
It was radio silence. Radio silence from Miles, radio silence from me.
No, it wasn't radio silence from you. Actually, it was you or Hadnet. Mike Hadner, you sent me the photo about,
that was Hadner.
And you changed it from "It's coming home" to "all coming home."
Right. As far as England go, though, hasn't it been the best narrative of this World Cup? That the whole world has jumped on board, just the joy and the elation and the silliness and the nuttiness, because that's what sport does to us, right?
It does.
Brilliant.
It does indeed,
and the England fans, I salute you because you get down and you get back up again. You get down, you get back down.
Yeah.
Right, talking about people who man up and front up, I've got to say a big special, mention here for Ricardo Ball. He's a treacherous dog for backing France over that, but we had this competition going throughout the series of putting 3 bets on each time, but bung 3 bets on. Whoever had the most money, the other one, here we are, there's the thing, $99, ended up $99, $247.50. I'm the winner. I managed to nominate a tattoo for Ricardo. And we're going to show you what happened on Saturday. He manned up, he fronted up, but first of all, we've got a winner.
We've got a winner, and I don't know if this is a stitch-up, Martin, if you've got a relation out there by the name of Devlin Cook, but Devlin Cook, you are the winner of the $50 TAB bet, and the answer is 9. Croatia will be the 9th country to win the World Cup if they win tomorrow morning. There you go. So Devlin Cook, Ants, our producer, will be in touch with you to sort that $50 voucher out.
Now, we'll show you what happened on Saturday morning at a little tattoo parlour in K Road. Well, here we are in Karangahape Road outside Ototahi Tattoo. We had a little bit of a wager, didn't we, before the World Cup started? Bets on each show of Football HQ. But there was a price. We started off pretty even. In fact, I think you took an early lead.
I did take the mick after about the first week and say, I'm looking forward to you getting the Diego Maradona Hand of God tattoo somewhere on this fine canvas.
And I did warn you not to get a little bit ahead of yourself. Unfortunately, you faltered. So let's go inside and see these lovely chaps who are just about to find a spare patch on this individual's body where they can put my selected tattoo. Just showing Ricardo the design, mate. What do you think of that?
That it was just going to be the hammers and then that written underneath. I didn't realise it was the whole crest.
It's a poetic license, isn't it? I don't care about England losing now. This is just made up for it.
All right, Ricardo, you ready, man?
So, what's your missus going to say? Because for years, I love Rachel, and you've refused to put that on your backside.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I haven't actually told her yet. I just said I'd come out and do some filming for the TAB. So,
So fun.
you know, I've got to say that as bad as this is, it could have been worse. I mean, at least West Ham have given us Ince, Carrick, Rio Ferdinand. They're a great feeder club. And we gave you Luke Chadwick, so I reckon we've probably got the better end of the deal, mate, to be fair.
You probably have, but your end has got a better logo than your calf. And basically, we're saving the other cheek for Qatar 2022.
I'd just like to point out, notice there are no tan lines.
No, I didn't notice that.
How long have we known each other, brother? How 20 years?
It's all longer, I think. Yeah.
And I'm going to say this honestly, and I know it might hurt, but I never thought I'd say, but there's a bit of you now I don't like. There's a bit of you I never thought I'd say that, my friend. But there's a bit of you I don't like.
There's a bit of me I don't like.
There's a hell of a lot of him that I don't like. There's one little corner, a dark, distant, rather pale actually.
How old are you two? How old are you two again?
That I don't want to ever
Not
see
old
again.
enough to know better, yeah.
Well, basically, I think that's just about it now. Wrap.
Yeah, it is,
Don't
yeah.
forget, tab.co.nz. Go in there, open up an account, put $10 in, put the promo code FootballHQ, free $20, bung it on there, have a good old bet, and make a bit of money out of it.
Hey, Pogba to lead France to glory, best midfielder in the world, United for the title, son.
Yes,
Go
definitely,
on, now
definitely.
you're talking.
I
Season,
think
what,
West Ham
3
I
weeks,
have a
4
few
weeks?
words to say about it. We're going to hoist you on our petard this
That's
time.
all right. West Ham to win 7th.
I'll settle for that.
Again, yeah.
Thank you very much for your company and for your comments
Hey,
and for
also,
your trolling.
Can I say, everyone that's actually put a bet on New Zealand football, and this is the clubs and the kids and the players getting
Yep.
a big wedge out of the TAB. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for that, because it's a percentage of all the bets that have taken place. So,
And thank you, Kurt, and all the guys at the TAB for supporting it. Thank you, George, for doing the work, and Ant for being the organ grinder's monkey. Thank you.
Indeed.
At least one of us.